So here's a moment almost every single IELTS candidate gets wrong. You sit down for the speaking test, the examiner smiles, and they ask you the easiest question in the world. So, what do? And you answer with one small, flat word. You know, the exact same word you learned years ago. And without even realizing it, you've just told the examiner, hey, I'm a band 6. But here's the really good news. This is actually one of the quickest, easiest points in the whole test to win back.
The thing is, in English, there isn't really just one word for work. There are actually at least 5, and they are definitely not interchangeable. Choosing the right one in the right place, well, that is one of the quietest, most reliable ways to lift a band 6 answer right up to a band 7. So today, I'm going to give you all 5. But please, don't try to just memorize a list. Just relax, follow the story, and by the end, you will naturally feel the difference between them. Welcome back to Mina's IELTS Notebook. Let's dive in.
Let's start with the most neutral one. I want you to picture yourself filling in a form, maybe a visa application, and you reach a little box that says occupation. Your occupation is simply the work you do. It's your line of work. It's a clean, formal, slightly official word.
So, when the examiner asks what you do, saying, my occupation is, actually sounds much more precise than just saying, my job is. You can say, by occupation, I'm an accountant. Or, if you're talking about someone else, you could say, teaching is a demanding occupation, but a rewarding one. Now, notice what occupation tells us, and more importantly, what it doesn't tell us. It names the work. That's literally it. It says absolutely nothing about how long you've done it or where it's heading in the future. For that, well, we need a bigger word. And that bigger word is career. Think of it like this. If an occupation is just a snapshot, a career is the whole film. Your career is your professional life seen over time. It's the long path, from your very first job all the way to your last. So, because of that, we don't do a career. We build one, we pursue one, or we advance in one.
Listen to how this sounds. She built a successful career in marketing. Or, he's at an early stage in his career. I'm looking for a job with good career prospects. Here is such an easy upgrade for the test. Instead of saying something basic like, I have worked for 10 years, say, throughout my career, It instantly sounds more mature and reflective. And honestly, that is exactly the tone Band 7 rewards. Now, a career can be made up of lots of different jobs, but some kinds of work are special. They need long training, a specific qualification, and very often a degree. Think of fields like law, medicine, engineering, or teaching. We call these a profession. A profession is a type of occupation, sure, but it's a serious one that's built on expertise.
For example, we say, she's a doctor by profession, or he decided to enter the legal profession. Nursing is a respected profession, and the person who does it, they're a professional. So here is the golden rule to remember. Every profession is an occupation, but not every occupation is a profession. Like selling fruit at a market is an occupation, right? But we wouldn't usually call it a profession. That small distinction is exactly the kind of precision examiners really notice.
Okay, so far, all our words describe what the work actually is. But what about how you feel about it? Well, for that, English has a truly beautiful word, vocation. A vocation is a calling. It's work you feel genuinely drawn to. It's work that feels like your true purpose, not just your paycheck. We very often use it for caring or creative work, like nursing, teaching, or art.
You'll often hear people say, for her, nursing isn't just a job, it's a vocation. Or, he has a real sense of vocation. Let me tell you, this word is pure gold in the speaking test, especially in part 2 when you have to describe a job you admire or would love to do. Saying, I see it as a vocation, shows deep feeling and it shows vocabulary range. And that is exactly what lifts you way above a flat, factual Band 6 answer.
All right, there's one more word to learn, and this one works on a much bigger scale. When we zoom out from just one person to a whole society, a city, or an economy, we talk about employment. Employment is the state of having paid work, but in a very formal, almost abstract sense.
This is your absolute go-to writing task 2 word. When you're writing an essay about the economy, repeating the word jobs just sounds a bit basic, but employment sounds wonderfully academic. Listen to this. The new factory created hundreds of employment opportunities. The country has a high employment rate. Many graduates struggle to find full-time employment. You can be in employment or out of employment. You can seek employment. It's the perfect word for work as a social fact. And on the page, it reads a whole band higher than just saying jobs.
Now, here's the part that's really going to make today click for you. Let's drop all 5 of these words into one short picture so you can feel exactly how they differ. Think of one woman. Let's call her Lynn. By occupation, Lynn is a nurse. That's the work she does.
Now, nursing belongs to the medical profession. It's work that took years of training. For Lynn, though, it isn't only a profession, it's a vocation. She feels called to it. Over her career, that calling has carried her through 3 different hospitals. And because she trained in a city with high employment, she had plenty of opportunities to choose from. See that? 5 words, 5 completely different jobs to do in a sentence. And not a single one of them is swappable.
So let's really lock these differences in. Your occupation is what you do. Your career is the path you do it on over time. A profession is work that needs special training. A vocation is work you feel called to. And employment is having paid work, that big picture, society, and economy word. Now, please remember these 2 traps. First, don't say, my career is a nurse. Remember, your career is the journey, not the specific role. Instead, say, I'm a nurse, and over my career. And the second trap, don't say the teaching occupation when you actually mean the teaching profession. That level of precision is completely required when you're talking about roles that need specific formal training.
So, let's go back to that examiner and that super simple question, what do you do? A Band 6 answer just gives one flat word. But now, you could say something like, by occupation, I'm a teacher. Honestly, teaching has always felt like a vocation to me, and over my career, I've only grown to love it more. Same person, same job, but you've used 4 of today's words, precisely. And trust me, an examiner hears that difference instantly. That is exactly what a Band 7 sounds like.
Let's go through our final review list together, nice and steady. 1. Occupation, the work you do, your line of work. It's neutral and formal. Example, by occupation, I'm an accountant. Remember, it names the work, nothing more. 2. Career, your professional life over time, the long path. Example, throughout my career, I've worked in 3 countries. Remember, it's the path over time, not the role, not my career as a nurse. 3. Profession, work that needs special training or qualifications. Example, she's a doctor by profession. Remember, this is built on expertise, like law, medicine, or teaching. 4. Vocation, a calling, work you feel drawn to. Example, for him, nursing is a vocation, not just a job. Remember, it's all about feeling and purpose. And 5. Employment, the state of having paid work. It's formal, used for society and the economy. Example, the region has a high employment rate. Remember, this is your task 2 word, and it's far stronger than jobs.
Before you go, I want to share 2 quick things with you. And honestly, these are what actually make the words stick in your brain. First, shadowing. Go back through that review list we just did and say each sentence out loud, right after me, copying the rhythm. Reading silently just builds mute English. Saying it out loud is what actually makes it yours. Second, the 3-day rule. Watch this explainer once today, once tomorrow, and once the day after. 3 short visits will always beat 1 long cram session. That's how you beat the forgetting curve and how these 5 words turn into vocabulary you automatically reach for under pressure.
And one last thing, tell me in the comments, using today's words, by occupation, what are you? And be honest with me, does it feel like a vocation to you, or, for now, just a job? Try to answer in a full, complete sentence. That's your first bit of real practice right there. You've got this. I'll see you in the next explainer. This has been Mina's IELTS Notebook.